Please start with a moment of silence for all those who serve and protect us at home and abroad. Would you all please join me in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoskins. Trustee Clark. Here. Trustee Hatcher.
Here.
Trustee Morris. Here. Trustee Nelson.
Here.
Trustee Schneider.
Here.
Mayor Calvert.
Here. You all have an agenda in front of you. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. A motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Audience participation. Have anyone here who would like to address the board tonight? Come forward, identify yourself.
You know who I am, Ronnie. I just wanted to come in today. I gave you a copy of the letter I had sent to everybody, but I had heard that a lot of people don't check their Platteville email. So I wanted to come in tonight to address, to let you know and hand it to you. It's a really terrible copy, but I tried to make it off of my email and but adapt and overcome. So there's the copy of it. I just, I didn't want to be like a hypocrite. I came in here last time to tell you how important court is and all the fun things and how hard I worked and, all the things that I did. And then I turn around and resign. So I just wanted to, if you had questions for me, I would gladly answer them. And I wanted you to know I went over to Gilchrist. It was not a promotion. I think some people assumed it was. It was not a promotion. It was just an opportunity that opened up. And it was like the situation that I had here when I came to the courts, except on a way bigger scale. So I wanted you guys to hear that from me. So that's where I'm at, but I will always be, this is my home now, my roots, like I said. Nothing's more important than us serving this town. And I realized what this board means to the people, to hear the people and to represent the people. And I have done that from day one here, and I'm truly gonna miss interacting, with the people that would come in the front desk and all the problems that I would help solve and things like that. And I just, as a citizen, was concerned about, recently we lost 2 officers that went somewhere else. And just wanted to try to figure out why the turnover happens. One, it costs the town a lot of money to train people. And so I just wanted to say that out loud, if we could figure out how to keep good people in this town. So that's my piece.
Appreciate your service to the town and we'll miss you. Thank you for addressing us tonight. And does this mean if Herbert gets out, I gotta come to Gilchrist Town Hall again?
No, I will take him. Now I know where he lives. I will gladly drop him off.
Okay. He stays in the backyard now. He's getting too old.
Same thing with Wednesday. And if maybe at one point, one of my other things is maybe exit interviews. I would love to share things that I know and the things that I feel, and I think other employees probably would have liked to share what their concerns and their thoughts were. Because they were 2 good officers. I'm done now. Thanks, people.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to address the board tonight? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which includes the June 16th, 2023 meeting minutes and the NCC proposal emergency sewer repair.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
A motion, a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move to staff reports. with the Platteville Nantes Library.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and hello to everybody. There's not really a whole lot since the last time I was here. We did host a shredding event. I think that might have been like around the same day. For the first time ever, we actually filled up a truck and then broke that truck, and they had to bring in a second truck to finish the event. And because of that, the shredding company asked that we change our roles. But we are going to continue having the shredding event, one in Platteville and one in Gilchrist every year. As long as the people of Platteville and Gilchrist want it, we'll keep doing it. We created a disruptive patron, well, we didn't create, we modified our disruptive patron procedure. And now we have a full procedure in place. If a person is suspended for more than a week in any High Plains Library District Library, they are suspended in all of our libraries. We actually have a way to do it where, because before we could suspend it, but we didn't know who they were. And if somebody walked in and we never, because we don't ask everyone's name when they walk in the door. So this way we can tell, oh, this is somebody who's not supposed to be in here. And it's, like I said, it's intended for serious banning and not for a kid's misbehaving, and we just ask them to go home for the day. Summer reading is continuing. We're now into the last half of the summer, and it's going pretty well. It's a bit quieter, with kind of smaller attendance, but all of our patrons that join us, they leave very happy with whatever they've learned or whatever they've made. And then the only other thing that I've talked about is actually, I think, on your agenda for later. Yeah. So I'll wait to talk to you about that when it comes.
Any
That's all I-
questions for, yeah.
Yeah.
If not, thank you, Naomi. We'll move on to Pioneer Museum and Welcome Center.
Thank you, trustees and mayor. From the last report, I'm just going to give you from report on the Welcome Center from January through June. We ended up doing gross sales of $6,000 with a net profit of $2,000 for 6 months. And 1,000 of it, I looked at the whole thing today, 1,000 of it went to the Veterans Memorial. So I was very pleased to see that number go there. She has now taken her shirts. She'll be selling those at the summer nights. So if you need, she's doing Harvest Day shirts, I know, and there's a couple of 250s that would benefit the Veterans Memorial. So I have some pictures that we took on July 4th. I just pass them that way. When you get the pictures, we had 39 visitors on July 4th. The holidays are kind of up and down, either dead or you're going to get a lot of people. We're thrilled to have 39 people. So we received the tables out there. The 2 tables in front have been installed by Platteville Public Works through the town of Platteville. And this was the first real usage that we got July 4th. We had a family of 8 and 3 other people that were sitting at the tables. We had ice cream and cake out there. So they had their ice cream and cake as they were leaving. And they were just really happy. And then you can see in this bottom picture, the great big flag. What's it called? The flag?
Feather banner.
Feather banner. There we go. It's much bigger than we anticipated it to be, but I think it worked. We had people stopping. And it is very big. One person cannot bring it in if the wind is blowing.
If you need help, just call me.
Oh, okay, okay. So we had a total of 800 visitors in the 6-month period that we were talking about. So we're doing really well with visitation out there.
Last year, you only had just over 1,000 for the whole year.
Yes. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. So that is the Welcome Center. Any questions on the Welcome Center before I go to the museum?
I have a question.
How many days? 3 days a week.
I have a question. I recently took over some stuff for the seniors cross to sell. And I haven't been there. I don't know what's there to sell, so, can't say too much. But I wasn't aware that there was an additional item of money added to what we were selling. Glenna informed me, she said, how much are we selling it for? And I said, this is what we want. And then she said, on top of that, we add our portion of it. I wasn't aware of that. And I just want to know, for my personal knowledge, why do you add that on? Are you guys not on a budget that covers your necessity, whatever it is you do or you need up there? Or can you elaborate on that?
We take, on all commissions, we take approximately 10%, which equals about $2 for all of the local vendors that we do. For anything that the town purchases, like our books and our toys, we do a 50% markup on that, and that goes to the town. It's just the custom that they started with. Bill started with it, and it's just a small consignment fee.
So that additional 10% that's added to the ticket is for what specific area?
Offset cost and
Yeah.
operations.
Offset cost, is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay,
operational costs, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
'cause in general, that's a good question, because in general, if you look at the budget, what we spend, or what we bring in doesn't offset what we spend as far as the history of Colorado maintains the fort itself, but everything inside that room is something we maintain, including wages, workers' comp and benefits and cleaning, and that helps offset that cost.
okay.
So,
Thank you. I wasn't aware of
Sure.
that, and I just thought, well, maybe that's something we need to consider when sending it out there.
well, sure, because you send it off, drop it off, and then Glenna sells it for you.
Right, and,
So, but-
no, I
Yeah.
was like, well, I didn't know that,
Yeah, it's a consignment.
which is why I came here tonight, because I thought, well, maybe I need some clarification on that, because it helps. So thank you, Glenna.
Okay, so the museum will be starting on tomorrow night, very quickly for the Summer Nights program. I'll let you pass those around. Oh, let me have you one. These are just a sample. So the full page, you will have 5 pages in there. We have 12 businesses that have agreed to give out the stickers and the town hall. So the person will receive these at Summer Nights or from the museum. And they go around town and they get a sticker to put on there from each business. The stickers will look something like this. And they will correspond with the picture on there. And then we have some of the 6 at the end of the passport that will be the, what do we have? We have the community complex where there would not be anyone to really give out stickers. We have Daryl and Friends, which is, just go by and look at it. So we just ask them to take a look about other Platteville entities that we have. And then when they have to complete and get stickers from everyone to be into the drawing. The drawing will be on Friday night of Harvest Days. And the museum is going to give $50 in cash. Silver Spur has donated a $50 gift certificate. Wild Hogs has given us 4 meals. And the Cracked Egg has given us 4 $25 certificates. So that will be all in the drawing on that Friday night. When they come in and bring us these passports, we will give them a little token, and probably like a bag of whatever we can still collect. We're collecting coupons from 7-Eleven and from Subway, and probably a little bag of candy. So that's what we're planning. And then we have a booth for Summer Nights, and we will be coin drop. and giving away little prizes for that, so. If they make the coin drop in the little shot glass.
You got your, hayride tour coming
We
up?
have, well, there's no hay involved. That would take up too much room.
Wagon ride tour.
Yes, the home tour, we have coming up, and I didn't bring enough flyers for this, sorry. We need to redo the flyers because we're meeting at Riverview Park. We're not meeting at the library or the museum. So we have to change this a little bit. So that will be, Colorado Day, August 1st, and we do have signups available. We've got a 10 o'clock, tour, and then we'll have a 1 o'clock tour. So Harley Troyer is bringing in his people mover. There's room for about 15 people in that. And then a horse-drawn wagon, and we'll go through, and Becky Miller will be our announcer, our tour guide, and talking about the 1,800 homes that are around and some of the history on the homes that we could find. So should be a good time.
Questions for Glenna? No? Thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Okay, we'll move on to our action items tonight. First item is going to be the Comcast franchise agreement. Mr. Rankin.
Thank you, Mayor. With us tonight is, go ahead and stand if you would. Come on up to the podium, is Jennifer Zappra, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Comcast and her associates, so I'll have her get set up. As that, just so the board knows, here a few months back, Jennifer and her team met with the mayor and I and Danette to discuss a potential franchise agreement. Your town attorney next to me, we worked out an agreement for you to review. That's in your packet tonight. Jennifer and her team has a short presentation for you to discuss what their services are. So,
Thank you for just working on the technical aspects.
just filling time, okay?
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
There should be a share button on there somewhere. Maybe. Fine.
It might be me, clicking on it and it will play.
Could be because these are IT covered.
Oh, it might not allow us to.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It usually comes up and asks you to
Do it, yeah.
just look like a paper around.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Yes, okay. That's welcome to. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I know, I got all the way through. You got all the way through.
Don't worry, we do this all the time.
Yeah, we only work for an internet company. 2026. I thought maybe I could email it. That would be that option. Just have a little. It's like. It's a lot here now. Yeah. I'm gonna help. I used to was losing them. Or something, it's something, yes.
It's like 2:30 in the morning.
Go that late.
That's how we are. But, you know, I'm like really close to that now. So.
Yeah.
They can just kind of sort of.
They'll see you on the show up there.
Yeah.
That's settled down here.
I'm so sorry. You know, so it's your college.
No, it's really required that people.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. We're almost there. You know, this is a good time to meditate, be introspective.
Small talk, we're good.
Small talk with your peers. I'm gonna just feel it, I think. I think it might be like. Okay, so I sent it over. Over Danette will be getting that here
I
soon.
can't get my email in here. Oh, no. But I'll try.
Okay, well, while that goes, maybe I could just start with some quick introductions. So, good evening, everyone. Thanks for your patience and thanks for being here today. We're super excited to be here to chat with you all. My name is Jennifer Zafra. I'm a government affairs manager for Comcast in Northern Colorado. So I work with Larimer County, Weld County, any local governments there, and I live with Adams County. And then I'm joined here today with my peers. So I'm going to introduce.
And I'm Logan Fuller. I'm going to be handling the construction side of things in the right of way.
My name's Doug Grosskopf, and I am a tech ops manager, which means I am in charge of the technicians that come out and do installs and trouble calls. So
Perfect. So they'll be talking a little bit later in the presentation, but we're going to start here today to share some information. As Troy mentioned, we've been working closely with Troy and staff, that's her and Katie, to talk about expanding into Platteville, expanding our services here. We're at almost the home stretch of the process, which requires signing a cable franchise. So today we're here to talk a little bit about Comcast, the services we would offer residents, if we expand here into Platteville, and then what a franchise agreement is in the terms of the cable world. Before I get into that, let me see if we can get our little presentation going. If not, I could always just kind of like flip it around old school. Maybe I'll do that while we wait here. Can everyone see? I'm sorry for the folks on this side, but you'll hear me verbally explaining, so that'll be okay. Okay, great. So to get started, starting off, I'm going to talk a little bit about the cable franchise agreement. So as I mentioned before, we've been in negotiations with the town and we're almost here at the end of the process to sign the cable franchise. It requires board approval and then it would go, or board of trustees approval, and then it would go over to being signed by both parties. So you might be asking, what exactly is a cable franchise and why is it different than a right-of-way agreement? Over here. So per the Cable Act of 1984, it's a federal cable act. Any cable company that wants to operate and maintain infrastructure and sell cable to clients needs to sign a franchise agreement with the jurisdiction where they are serving. So the right-of-way agreement, it allows a company to put equipment and maintain it in a public right-of-way. A franchise agreement also does that, but it also governs the relationship between a jurisdiction and Comcast. So it has additional items that aren't typically included in a right-of-way agreement that just expand on that relationship, things like customer service standards, construction standards, franchise fees. I'm going to get into that here in just a moment. But for the high level definition, a franchise agreement is a formal agreement between a local bill and a cable operator, Comcast, that gives the operator authorization to construct, operate, and maintain a cable system within the community. So moving into what it could include. So it authorizes use of public right of way, which is high level. It allows for construction, operation, and maintenance of the cable system long term. It establishes customer service standards and construction related requirements. And then it defines a term and renewal process. So there isn't a federally mandated term, but for the purposes of our agreement with Platteville, we negotiated a 5-year agreement. So what that means is that after 5 years, we can renegotiate the agreement. And actually, we're able to renegotiate it closer to the 3-year term because there's something known as a 626 period, which is just a legal period where you can start negotiations and renewal of the agreement. So if there's anything that you all want to change or that we want to change, we can come back to the drawing board and work on that during the renewal. And then it also includes insurance, indemnification, repair, and relocation provisions. And then it sets up a franchise fee of up to 5%. So a franchise fee is essentially a way that Comcast compensates the town or any jurisdiction that we're in for use of the public right of way. And that is a gross percentage of cable service revenue. So what's interesting about that is it's just the cable service. So Comcast, you might know a little bit about us. We have a variety of products that we serve customers with, but only the cable service has that franchise fee tacked on there. And so there is a 5% cap. That's the highest that a franchise can have for the franchise fee. And with the town of Platteville, we have the 5%. And what's exciting about that is that the town can use it however you all wish. It's completely up to the town. There's nothing in the agreement that states that it has to be used a certain way. Okay, so what isn't included in a franchise agreement? I think this is just helpful to see. It does not regulate broadband or telecom services. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I believe that you all have worked traditionally with telecom only or maybe broadband only providers. They typically don't sign a franchise because they don't sell cable. So in the case of the franchise, it only governs the cable side of the business. So that's why the franchise fee only covers cable. And then it does not replace local permitting or town codes. So we still need to get permits just like any other company would to be able to put equipment in the right of way. All of that is exactly as it has been and will be. And the franchise is non-exclusive, so it doesn't limit other providers. So the town can work with any providers, any cable providers or broadband providers that it wants to. It just governs our specific relationship with the town. Okay, so here's a little map, and I know it's kind of hard to see from your desk over there, but I wanted to illustrate what franchises we have in local communities to kind of get a better sense for what our footprint in Northern Colorado looks like. So we have franchises in Berthoud, in Johnstown, Milliken, LaSalle, and then down south, we also have Fort Lupton, Frederick, Firestone, and we also have one in Meade. That's just close. We also have all across the state of Colorado, but I just wanted to illustrate the communities that are closest here to Platteville. Okay, so moving on into more of the exciting part of the presentation, which is our products and services. I wanted to illustrate the breadth of our portfolio. Comcast has a lot of different products that we can offer customers, and they're able to mix and match and do whatever is best for them. So of course we offer internet, which is residential internet ranging from 300 megabits per second to multi-gigabit speeds. So customers can choose what's best for them and their families. And then we actually are offering a 5-year price lock guarantee right now. So residents are able to sign up and they're locked in to a price for 5 years, which is really great for a lot of folks. We also have Xfinity Mobile, which is our wireless mobile service that folks can sign on with as well. It has nationwide 5G coverage. We use the same towers as Verizon, so we have the same coverage as Verizon does. And then also access millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. So I'm sure maybe in your travels around Colorado, you may have seen Xfinity as one of the hotspots on your Wi-Fi options. So if they have Xfinity Mobile, they automatically connect to those as they move around in the footprint. Again, we are first and foremost a cable provider, so we have TV and streaming options as well. We have home security options that are professionally monitored. And then we also have home phone service nationwide for our customers. And I really wanted to illustrate Internet Essentials, which is an exciting product that we have for income-constrained families. So we know that the internet can be pretty expensive for folks. And so we have a product for income-constrained individuals and households. So with this product, it's a 2-tier product. The lower tier is $14.95, and then the higher tier goes into $29.95. And a customer just needs to qualify for that product offering. And the way they do that is, one, if they receive any kind of public assistance. So if they have veteran benefits, maybe a housing voucher, EBT SNAP, anything like that, they're automatically going to qualify for this program. And if they don't have any public assistance, they can also qualify with income. And so the requirement is 200% of at or below the federal poverty line, which for family floor is about $64,000 and some change. So they have a variety of ways that they can qualify for this service tier. And then once they're a customer, they're also able to purchase a brand new laptop for $150. Which is really exciting. It's not refurbished, it's brand new. So just another way that we try to support customers who might have a little bit of trouble paying for some of the other internet tier packages. Okay, and then Troy had mentioned that it would be good to illustrate some of our pricing. So because we have so many products, it can be kind of hard to outline everything because people can bundle. It's kind of like insurance when you bundle your home and auto insurance. But for the most part, I wanted to give a very high level overview of some of our pricing. This is a little bit higher than we typically anticipate because we usually have promotions and again, people can bundle, but for the lowest tier of 300 megabits per second, it can start at about $80 a month. And then it goes up from there depending on how much bandwidth people want or what speeds they want. And then on the TV side, the lower package starts at 65 a month, and then it can range from there depending on how many TV channels people want to add or take away and things like that. So again, these are just examples, and we can always have promotions, and typically they're lower than these, but just wanted to illustrate that on a general level. Then I also wanted to talk about Comcast Business, which is another company that we have that supports small businesses all the way up to large enterprises. So if there are any businesses here in Platteville that are interested in using Comcast Business, that's an option too. They have a ton of different service offerings that people can use, but basically there are 3 buckets of connectivity, network and security, and communications. So we have things like cybersecurity for businesses, we have people monitoring any cyber threats, just general internet, dedicated internet lines, just a ton of stuff that business can use. Okay, now I'm gonna let my colleagues come up here.
Well, I was gonna log in with my computer, but there's an IT blocker on there, so I'm not gonna try that. We'll say I have a map of the anticipated areas.
My email up if you want to email it to me.
I could, but I can't email the KMZ. It's
Oh,
only
okay.
Earth image.
Okay.
It's just,
That's
it's not
fine.
gonna let me. So I'm gonna try to find a way to get that over to you all, but essentially it's a map of where we're gonna be anticipating to build aerial underground, and which areas of town we plan to build out. I don't want to get into too many details with, anything from permitting requirements to restoration requirements, just because that is a conversation I believe needs to come after. But for now, based off of what we're trying to build, it's going to be 62 or 63% underground. It is going to be, and it's going to be about, give or take 2 miles of, we're anticipating trench, about 6.1 miles of bore, and then there's about 25% aerial that we're targeting for now, and that's pending if there's any make ready that's going to force us to go underground. And the majority of those, that aerial lines is going to be downtown in those alleys. So, that being said, we are planning on getting service to about 1,159 homes. About 1,100 of them are going to be single family homes, and about 64 of those are going to be business opportunities.
So that's more homes than we have in Platteville. So you're talking about the surrounding areas
Sorry,
as well.
surrounding, yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
just to clarify with the board, it's their general area of Platteville.
And right now, our anticipated project completion date, if things flow to franchise being signed, we're anticipating September of 2027 to be completely done with the project. If all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted, then we anticipate starting the project sometime August at some point. I can't nail down a date. Obviously franchise has to be signed and there's other things that have to come into play first before we even start. Anticipated release date of the first homes that are eligible for service, if we can navigate through CDOT, we're anticipating anywhere from end of October to end of November. And that's going to be the very southern neighborhood directly east of the anticipated greenfield spot that the town just bought, that
River Farms
Yep.
in South Main.
Yeah, just east of there is what the anticipated first service release will be. So I don't want to get too far into details about the system. I don't think that's going to be required at this point unless you all want to learn more about it. But I want to open this up to the board and the town to ask any questions from a construction standpoint. And hopefully I can address them. If not, I can bring back an answer for you all.
So you're basically coming from the south, working your way north.
Yeah, so our tie point is going to be off of County Road 28 and Road 25.5 down there.
So we Bella Vista, then they get Bella Vista across 66 and go north.
Yep, exactly.
Would service be offered to anything that's within the town limits of Platteville? I'm thinking of phone service specifically.
Yes, so anything that is within, when we place a tap in the right of way, as long as it's within, isn't it 1,500 feet?
1,500 feet.
1,500 feet of the tap, we can service it. So to make that a very clear cut answer, anything in our running line for what we're building will be eligible for service, and that includes phone, TV, internet.
I'll be wanting to talk to you.
Yeah. We like the way you conversation, but Steve has a business of 85 and 24. So that's something you guys can have a talk.
Are you talking home phone or are you talking Xfinity? Mobile?
Business.
Business phone, okay. We do offer the product, so. Many different solutions on the business side when it comes to advanced, phone support and that kind of thing, so.
It'd be nice, because I've already spent $5,000 and still have nothing. Starlink and everything.
Yeah, we do offer several different, levels of it, including, like I said, a managed phone system, which comes with its own Polycom. I don't think we use Polycoms anymore, but a Polycom type phone. So that you can manage your entire business with inside of itself, plus managed on our side, you'll have a portal that you can work through, really easy to use. We've come a long, long way when it comes to the technology that we use on that. So really, I was advanced business tech before I became a manager, so I know quite a bit about it. It's a really solid product.
And I want to give you all an option. I'm going to pass around some pictures of just standard, what a PED typically looks like, what some of our infrastructure will look like. You can pass them around. It's in bundles of 10, so just take one. You don't have to take one. I just wanted to have you all have that ability to see what.
How are you gonna run these lines? Are you running these lines underground all through the neighborhood like Hilltop did? And how would that
So-
compare with them, and where are you gonna put these boxes at?
And so when we build, when we pull a permit from the town and say we're building on, Grand Street, we'll call in locates and people come out and locate what's on the ground, whether it's gas, sewer, whatever it is. And then we actually pothole find those and then we maintain the distance away from them that you have to be.
So you're gonna have boxes like in the ground, where the wires go, just.
Yeah.
Unless it's a real plan, it's going to come off. But for the most part, it'll be.
It's like, I know like in Rogers Farm, and I don't know, Larry, you may know too. When Hilltop came in, they put their boxes there, so already there's like no room for additional boxes to be put in some areas. Because of the way the yard and the landscape is done. So are you gonna go around that? You go like so many houses down, you gonna put one there or?
Yeah, so our system's designed to, it's not the old copper, what we used to use to where we could place a box if there's no room. We try to be within 300 feet, but we can place it, like I said, within 1,500 feet away. We prefer to be under 1,000 because then it gets involved with a special install. But there's ways to navigate that by placing it as close as not.
Okay. So there's still ground.
How are we going to get that?
Couldn't hear that answer. Interesting.
So when we place our PEDs and our taps, it's not the old copper system that we use or coax. So our drops, we can run them up to 1,500 feet. So if there's conflicts along the street where we cannot set a PED and a tap, we can set it more towards the end of the street in order to set smaller drop pots in between the homes to run that drop through there. So we can offset them to pull drops at a longer distance to feed homes if there's conflicts with us setting PEDs in a certain area.
Like past companies, I've had people ask, I complain about why in front of my house, I'm not gonna use it. Like you will get that from our service as well, but for the most part, the small circular, call them flower pots that you see in the pictures are all that's gonna be in a majority of the yards. Every once in a while, there will be one of the upright PEDs, which is the taller device there. Obviously, that's where we have to, our tap has to start there. And then it's conduit to these smaller flower pots, which are about yay big. They're ground level, as unintrusive as we can possibly make them. And they tend to work out really well. There's obviously gonna be some stuff that needs to be cleaned up as we go along. When it comes to the construction side, like yards and stuff like that, we try to, fix the rocks, fix any of the landscaping that gets damaged as we're doing this. But it is new construction for us, or construction in a existing area. So there will be certain things that we have to do.
Any questions on what we're looking at on the pictures? I'm sorry, I never really explained what's in the pictures. Is there any questions on that so far? Or?
Well, my wife's gonna love this. A little bit of a catch-22 because nobody wants the pet in their yard, but
we lack services. Some services work for some, not for others. So my goal is to provide as much possible service to the community and then work with myself and David Brand on when Hilltop came in, they provide internet. Probably 24 properties I've worked directly with those properties where my neighbor, for example, had a high ped, we put it in the vault because he had to drive his camper over it. I mean, you just negotiate, you make things work.
And that's
If you
typically.
can go 1,500 feet from your ped to your lower ones, that's ideal. So that'll happen quite a bit.
And there are situations we run into quite often, when building Johnstown, Milliken, Mead and Severance. I mean, ideally, yes, we like our stuff to be upright and we like it to be in a certain spot. But like you said, I've worked with homeowners across the board where, hey, they park a camper there, or they have something, they're doing a new driveway at some point. Yeah, we can definitely accommodate that for sure.
Well, strange question. Will you go outside of a right of way on private property if requested, or do you have to stand right away?
We'll stay in the right of way and easements,
Because some of our right of ways are a little weird.
tight, right?
Yeah.
Most likely on the north end of the sidewalk or just ending there.
Okay.
So.
I actually have a question.
Yep.
So a few years ago, our last mayor called Comcast and asked them if they'd come into town. We brought in Hilltop. And Comcast said they weren't interested in coming into Platteville, so I'm just curious of what changed.
Well, I mean, I can't give you that answer because that decision was formed above my head, but I will say over the last few years, Comcast has invested more time and effort in doing research on what communities in eastern Colorado they should be looking at again, whether they looked at them once, twice, or 3 times. And it just so happens that the start of building out in northeast Colorado was the Johnstown and the Millikens and the Severance, and now we're starting to further look at east. So those decisions, I wasn't a part of those from the first go, but we are examining towns such as Platteville again to take a look at. I mean, we're looking at Eaton for the 4th time. We're looking at Alt for the 3rd time. So it's a continual cycle of conversations and research, and I'm not quite sure if that answers your question, but I wasn't a part of that original planning.
Some of it is technology as well. Like, we know what our future looks like. We're invested out, a good strong 10 years. So if we know that we have a new product coming out, which the fiber product is obviously less, we can do practically anything we want with coax, which is what most this area probably is mostly is coax. But people want fiber, and that's, an area that we are definitely getting heavily invested in. We always have worked with fiber. All of our nodes are fiber fed. So the only difference is once it hits node, it becomes a coax transport from there. Well, now we're able to do a fiber transport all the way through. Makes a huge difference, makes it easier for us to work with.
Less equipment, less maintenance.
Yeah.
The only time we're gonna have to deal with the maintenance tech having to come out and do work is when there's an outage or there's a cut, somebody hits us or something happens. We don't have techs coming out and chasing noise all day over something that we shouldn't be doing. It's very low maintenance. And it's just built for out east here because like I said, our drops, we can run them so far. So on the bigger lots, these, 10-acre lots, and these homes are situated like, 100 yards, 200 yards off the road. This system enables us to feed more customers than we used to.
There's also been a lot of government investment in getting internet providers out to other areas. That probably had a lot to do with it back then. And when they opened that up, not only us, but other internet service providers kind of jumped on that and said, let's move out, let's grow our areas. So I'm sure that's probably what mostly it was, and now that's ended, but we're still investing out, trying to get as many areas connected as we possibly can. So.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. We'll leave a stack of our cards.
One more. So, to be clear on the agreement, there's no competitive exclusion
There is not.
with present or possible future
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, non-exclusion. Yeah, exclusionary. And I believe you all have a copy of the agreement, right, Troy?
I do.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you have any questions about that, I'm gonna leave my card for Danette. Feel free to.
And Jennifer, I apologize. You offered to send me the presentation. I thought it'd be best if you just do it yourself and not, it's not compatible, so I.
No, well, I think you all saw it, so that's okay.
If you'll go ahead and, I didn't get the email, but if you'll go ahead and email it to me, I will go ahead and send it out to them.
Okay, yeah, I
We'll
will.
also put it on our website so the community can review it as well if they want to take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, as far as his staff, and I'm concerned, I talked to David Brand about this and because he would manage the right of way part of this with the maintenance part. And he had experience with, well, we deal with CenturyLink on occasion, but also Hilltop. Of course, our utilities are in right of way for the most part. So that's something I rely on him to help with. As he indicated, in Old Town, we have a lot of above ground poles in the alleys, so it sounds like they're gonna utilize that in Old Town and Bella Vista. But once you get to Grand Avenue North and back west, everything's underground. Most part, for the most part, not everything, a lot of it is. But when Comcast first came, my recommendation is I hear a lot of people complain about Dish TV, Direct TV, the cost of TV in general, then they provide an affordable quote unquote option for cable TV. So that's my perspective on that, plus internet service.
So did you call them or they contact us?
They contacted us. Jennifer reached out to me and we had a conversation. And then we met in this room with the mayor and Danette to have an initial conversation.
Okay, so before us is the franchise agreement. Do I have a motion from the board regarding the franchise agreement?
I can't find it.
Move to approve franchise agreement with Comcast to provide cable services and products to customers within town of Platteville.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our next item. Resolution 2026-15, flags at half-mast policy. Mr. Rankins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Summarize this in the cover sheet. This is an idea and a request to honor our elected and appointed officials who have served the town of Platteville when they have passed away or we want to acknowledge them. So this is just a straightforward request to the board to consider tonight.
Questions? A motion from the board.
I move to approve resolution 2026-15, a resolution of the Board of Trustees of the town of Platteville adopting a flag of half-staff policy honoring the death of former or current elected and appointed officials.
I second that.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is amendment to the High Plains Library Agreement. Naomi.
Sorry. Giving a trustee hug. Okay, HBLD has submitted an addendum to the IGA, which explicitly explains that non-signatory agencies of the IGA cannot expect to enjoy the benefits of the IGA. It doesn't change anything else. It just adds that particular part to the existing IGA. I think we've got a couple of years left before we kind of revamp the whole thing. This is something that the district and actually both the branch and the member libraries and administration all kind of agreed this is sort of important for us to add now rather than wait. In 2023, the town of Lochbuie filed suit against the town of Hudson and High Plains Library District. One of their claims was that they should have been guaranteed services under the existing IGA. Lochbuie is part of Hudson Library Service Area. So the town of Lochbuie is not a signing entity. It's the town of Hudson who is a signing entity, which resulted in the town of Lochbuie could not demand that a library be built there. And because of the experience, HPLD's attorneys felt it was a good idea to add this clause to the IGA. And this particular amendment has been submitted to all member libraries, which includes Northern Plains Library, which is an alt library, Lynn A. Jones, which is the Johnstown and Milliken Libraries, Hudson, Fort Lupton School and Public Library, and Platteville, which we run Platteville and Nantes libraries. Our service area is Platteville and Gilchrist. My library board unanimously voted in favor of the town signing this amendment for our service area. If you need more information on the lawsuit, I believe that Katie might know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, excuse me. Our law firm actually represented Hudson in the lawsuit. So this provision really just protects the parties to the lawsuit against third parties making a claim that they're somehow entitled to benefits under the agreement. So I took a look at it, don't have any issues with it. It makes sense given the lawsuit.
Any questions from the board? Now, do I have a motion?
Recommend to approve the First Amendment to the intergovernmental agreement concerning library services between the High Plains Library District and the town of Platteville.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is IA policy adoption. Mr. Rankin.
World of AI has come. Everyone knows about artificial intelligence. It's coming out in recent years. It's currently unregulated in many workplaces. So under services guidance, and this is services policy, this is a policy being presented for you to approve for all employees for the town of Platteville. It's pretty straightforward. You just don't use AI in inappropriate means. You don't disclose confidential data, and you don't let AI do your work, so to speak. It's pretty obvious when I see someone use AI, it's not them. I can tell for the most part. But there's some benefits to AI, and then there's also some drawbacks. So these are some basic guidelines that service is recommending. I'm not going to go through them verbatim. Katie's looked at it. Actually, I sent this not to Katie, but I sent to the Services General Counsel, Nick, and he was the one that did your elected officials training. So that was a gentleman, the attorney for services, that looked it over. Danette sent it to him. Like I said, AI is a tool on the platform, but just there's risk involved. I want to discuss this with all the employees and ensure that they understand how to properly use generative AI in their workplace. So that's what it really comes down to. So I'm not an AI kind of guy, so don't ask me specifics.
Specifically, what are we gonna utilize it for? I realize that you don't use it, but what are we gonna use it for?
Report writing, video imaging. I mean, there's different ways of using it that could be inappropriate, misconstrued.
The thing, and I try to keep on top of this as much as I can. With all the problems that exist now, is it beneficial for us to even entertain the use of AI at this point in time? And if we could revisit this in 6 months or a year, but I don't see any benefits that overcome the downsides.
AI is on every computer that we have.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it. The tenant's policy is to help control it. That's what we're trying to do. So we can't ignore it, Steve. I mean, I know where you're coming from, but
we can't not use it. Or at least in things that we control, because these things can hallucinate, they lie like crazy. How can we depend on any of this stuff at this point in time?
When you Google something, AI comes up right away.
Yeah, yes,
So you
but
can't control that.
I see all kinds of
so
things that aren't good.
one example, if I may, the emergency sewer line repair and over on between Goodrich and Marion from basically Division to Liberty. I was talking to Josh late one night. He was using AI to calculate cost repair estimates for the contract with TCC. So that was one example. AI helped him generate per square foot cost. So that's a positive thing. But there's also other ways to use AI, which is not positive. So the knowledge is very important.
The things that our employees would utilize it for, is it something that is necessary for their job, or can we suppress some of this stuff until we have better idea of its, not of its capabilities, but of its safety?
I'm not sure how to answer that, honestly. I mean, I'm not sure what employees are using it, what's not, and who's not. Naomi, can I ask you on
If they have to write a report, they throw in the information and it generates a report for them, you know.
So if that's the case, this really is of very little value.
Well, I don't have any specifics because I haven't come across any yet. I'm trying to get ahead of the game. But if a police officer or a library worker is using AI to do their work for them, that's not completely representative of the town of Platteville. If they know that's a violation, I can terminate them for that.
So CIRSA came to you to,
No, CIRSA didn't come to me initially. This was a discussion among staff that came up. And then I reached out to CIRSA, and CIRSA generated one of these, or through Danette found them.
okay. So this is something they've done.
CIRSA is promoting policies on AI because but yeah, I use the internet a lot, but I tried not to use AI, but it's hard not to do.
Because it'll even help you write emails.
Right.
Rewrite emails.
It'll help you read the emails too.
I received emails from staff already that I could tell was not their own words for the most part. And I questioned that.
I mean, it can be a very helpful tool. It just, how much you use that tool is what's, I think, is addressed here. And for the library, we would obviously follow the town's policy on it, but we would have to actually add additional policy, because people would be using AI, like our patrons could be using AI, using library equipment, using library internet, which, can result in hallucinations. And people can actually use AI to skew what is reported, what shows up. Like if you do an internet search, if someone a bad actor decided that they wanted to make your internet search result in what they wanted you to see as opposed to what is factual, they can do that.
I have seen that.
And so it's very difficult when you're also having to you can't really control the general public.
So I see this is something that's gonna have to be readjusted as we go, because we're gonna have to have policies.
Yeah, as with all technology, you have to modify it as you go. As we speak, something new is probably being invented, and
Yeah, this will be at least an annual update, if not more often than that. So.
This, as far as I can see, this doesn't indemnify us from bad actors.
Well, no policy.
And I'm getting to is CIRSA.
Well, that's just it. Policy is intended to provide guidelines. This is a guideline for our employees. And if someone blatantly steps outside that guidelines, I have some recourse to the employee.
Well, and if we've set forth a guideline, then that's gonna help to indemnify us down the road.
Would this be the
If we have no
first
policy,
guidelines that we have pertaining to AI?
The first, yes.
Okay.
When I talked to Nick about it, I mean, it's going to evolve, like Naomi indicated. It's going very quickly. So you'll probably see this again in revised forms in years to come, honestly.
Are we gonna have to, at some point in the future, look to hiring somebody, not as a contract, as a contract basis, to train us how to work around this stuff, or how to protect ourselves?
I thought about that. May have to bring in a consultant, a computer, like Connecting Points, our IT provider. We Jason Clunas is our manager, so to speak. And we talked briefly about this and he's all in favor of it because it gives you a little bit of defense because if an employee steps out of lines, you have recourse with that employee. So, I mean, if you follow the good faith of your policy supporting the SRSA, then you have some protection. If you have nothing in place, you're wide open to exposure. So
Right now, we have nothing in
we have
place.
nothing in place until tonight. So, and this will be incorporated into our employee handbook, which we'll talk about next, so. But
The training is important. I can see somebody instantly unleashing a whole bunch of information that we don't want released. And punishing them if they didn't do it on purpose doesn't serve anything.
it has to be investigated. Yep, everything that we.
That's exactly what I'm concerned with. You articulated it very well.
I think that's part of what the policy addresses, though, is the use of any personal information or any confidential information that could be inputted into AI, and it actually prohibits it. So I do think that the policy is protective of the town and the release of any information.
The interesting thing to me is, what if someone accidentally or whatever puts erroneous information out there to contribute to having a damaging effect? That's stuff like that,
Yeah.
inadvertent or otherwise, is concerning. And I understand that at the same time I say that, our ways of monitoring it and dealing with it are extremely limited.
It is.
So
I'll be honest.
I get, this is fine. I just wonder what's next.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah.
Watch the movie Terminator.
I don't like it.
I will set up some training with our IT provider in the next few months and see how we come in.
Any other questions? We have a motion from the board.
Move to approve the artificial intelligence policy as presented and have it incorporated in the employee handbook.
Second. We have a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, employee handbook update. Mr. Rankin.
Thank you, Mayor. Back in March, there was an annual update completed. This has since come to my attention from Carl and David. It's pretty minor overall, involving the police holiday hours and then public works on call. So when David talked to me, the way the employee handbook reads is if they go on call for a week, then they're giving basically an 8-hour paid day off because that help compensate for being on call 24/7. We have one employee that works 410, so when he's on call, he has to use vacation time to make his time whole, which is not right. So I just want to make it 8 hours or equivalent to the regular schedule, which is what it comes down to. With the police, all the non-sworn officers have always had their holiday hours, whatever you approve, whether it be 92, 88, whatever the case may be, given to them in January. Then they use it as basically vacation because they don't get the holidays off depending on the rotation. So that's, basically leave request, the chief approves it or denies it. I have two non-sworn employees, which is the police clerk and the code officer that also work 410s. So when the police clerk, when Memorial Day came and that we were off on Monday, she had to use 2 hours of vacation to make her day whole because she only got 8 hours of vacation or holiday, sorry. So I'm just saying, if we use all the police personnel with their time up front, they can be approved accordingly, then they don't short themselves because they're working 10-hour shifts. So it's pretty straightforward recommendations on those. And then besides these two, the AI policy, I want to ask Kate to implement that as well, which I didn't get that done initially. So the final one will include the AI policy as well. So that's all I have for this. I don't anticipate any other changes the remainder of this year, but something else may come up, honestly.
I do have a question about the handbook.
Yeah.
Because I did read it in its entirety.
Thank you.
And that comes from being part of human resources in my prior job.
Yep.
Nowhere does it, that I saw, cover the use of cell phones while at work.
It should be.
We have.
Did I miss it?
Back. Mobile phones and pages on page 48.
What page?
48.
Oh, well, maybe I was tired by some.
You probably fell asleep.
Software, internet, so we'll put AI back here on page 49 and 50, but page 48 is mobile phones and pagers. Use of town-owned phones versus personal phones.
Okay.
Use of phones in the motor vehicles and so on and so forth.
I guess it's more so when you walk in and you have employees that are watching TV and or playing games.
Okay.
And not, I mean, I don't feel like the town, any town or any employer is paying an employee
Okay.
to watch TV and or play games.
Okay.
If they're that bored, they should either go home or something should be found for them to do. That's just a personal.
Except for when the World Cup's on. You gotta listen to me.
And along with that, probably restricting earbuds as well, because I can't control earbuds as well.
Correct. Correct.
So,
That was more my concern than what was addressed in the book was,
okay, so I understand where you're going.
you know, it's just, I mean, I walked into a store the other day and this person had no clue I was even there.
Yeah.
No clue. They were so busy on their phone and.
Go to the gas station late at night, you'll see it.
Exactly.
People
Exactly. And it can become a security issue. Absolutely.
Okay.
But
It's a distraction.
I was always thought that if they'll steal time, they'll steal anything. And to me, being on your cell phone and doing something that's not productive in your work environment is stealing time.
Okay.
That's just a personal opinion.
If you do see somebody with earbuds in, that's our employee, what do you do?
Depends on the situation.
Well, I don't even know what they're used for, to be honest with you. Aside from
A
listening.
lot of
to
times, I
music.
don't even, especially with the ladies with the hair, half the time I don't see them half the
Yeah.
time.
They can hide it better.
So,
If they're in there talking to themselves, then I know something's probably going on.
Typically choose to listen to something, device or whatever,
So
typically.
for example, sometimes my staff, they'll be doing like a training that's online and so that they're not, whatever they're listening to, whatever their training is, doesn't broadcast to everybody. They'll have, I always make sure that they only have one earbud in, they cannot have both. So that they can have, they can hear when somebody walks in the door and they stop what they're doing and they take care of the patron. But yeah, so that's usually among my staff.
Some people put, they have the earbud in, it connected to their phone, and when somebody calls them, they answer.
Yeah, and
I did when I was working. I kept an earbud in, and somebody called me. I said, yes, I'll take the call, and I just talked to them. Whoa.
And there's times where, I mean, I've seen employees, I can't deny it, that have their phone on. I don't watch what they have, but to me, as long as they're productive doing their work, that's number one.
Right.
But also, if someone's watching a movie on their phone, but someone else isn't doing that, but they're on their personal phone calling their family all day long, that's just as bad.
Absolutely.
So
It's
it's
a double-edged sword.
it's a double-edged sword by long form.
But yeah, it's like, I'll have, staff, we call it standby time. Cause I need them to sit at the desk. They can't be out doing other things because then they miss a patron walking in the door. So we call it standby time, so they can do other things as long as their other duties are done. That stops the second somebody walks in. But having them up and moving around all the time doesn't always work because then they miss when a patron comes. And I would say 90% of my patrons that walk in need help from my staff on a computer. Help me figure out how to make my Nook work or my Kindle work. I can't make photocopies by myself because I don't understand your machine. And they hope that I understand. Right? So that kind of thing. So I do need my staff to be at the desk, but I don't always have something at the desk for them to do.
And there's been times, I'll fully admit to the board, there's been times where we've had super slow days and I'll see somebody watching something on the phone. We don't have no customers. The phones aren't ringing. It's just like, do something productive. You know, but yet you always have employees pointing fingers at other employees because they don't like them. So I get that all the time.
If you see this as an infraction, is it a verbal warning or is it a write-up?
No, I talk to people first. I mean, I'm not that hardcore. I mean, if they're ignoring their job,
I was just curious.
that's a different story, but
Well, I was thinking in terms of, not office, I was thinking in terms more of, people who are outside the building working. That would concern me if they got,
well, like public works or police, they're very hard to
Exactly.
monitor when they're outside the building and it's a little different, especially night cops. I mean, are they watching Star Wars on the MBT? I don't know. If they answer their call, they better be answering the call.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
which we don't allow TV on the MBTs anyway, so.
That'd be interesting. Watching cops, being a cop.
Back in the nineties, when I walked to jail, top show they watched was Top Cops. They would laugh at other criminals getting busted. That's all the changes for this one, but thank you for bringing that up, so.
Any other questions? If not, can I have a motion from the board?
this is getting into be like the length and breadth of the great American novel. Move to approve the employee handbook update as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move to committee reports. Start with Parks, Trails and Trees.
We haven't had a meeting since we opened the, nature preserve, so I got nothing new to add today.
All right, how's the nature preserve going?
Okay, I was out there the other day, took my grandson out, we walked it. We found a buried American flag in the mud of the floodplain, a little guy, so I rescued that and we'll properly dispose of it. So,
Larry, can I add something to that point? On the gates of the nature preserve right now, they're being opened by Public Works, closed at night when the officers remember to close them. I'm working with David, because we don't have power source out there, but the cemetery, our gates open and close based upon a timer. Because we have power, so we're working with David, there's not a meter, but there's a box on the telephone pole, on the pole out there, utility pole out there. That belongs to Magnus, so he's gonna reach out to Magnus to see if we can tap into their transformer. To install a meter, so we can actually put a gate up there that has basically open and close without somebody having to man it all the time. Because it's pretty inconsistent right now. But sometimes when Public Works comes in, they work at 7. Sun comes up at 5. I'd rather go out there at 5 o'clock than 7. So we're working on it, Larry. So right now, people are enjoying it. So.
Okay, Nick's not here tonight, so we'll skip recreation unless you had anything.
Do you have any?
We'll move on to economic development.
Economic development, basically the summer nights. You know, that's what the big thing is, the next 3 Wednesdays. I've got it to where we will have a tent available to us to be there, whoever is willing and wanting to be available to the public for conversation, questions, whatever. Be greatly appreciated. I plan on being there tomorrow to start off with. Hopefully.
I'll be there, but I'm not gonna be here, but I'll be there for the next 2. I gotta go to Arkansas tomorrow.
If we can get some people there and at least.
What food
Sure.
trucks you guys got?
Honestly, I'm not too sure what all vendors there are there. I've kind of come in late to all the planning. Feel like I'm kind of an outsider in that. They've had everything pretty well set up. I'm not sure if Troy really knows.
So the barbecue's right there, that little open area between the gym and the church, but I remember talking to Callie, I think there's 5. I'm not sure what all they have, but I think there's 5 of them last I heard. And pretty good response on the booth vendors too. As far as the town booth, I ordered a town Easy Up tent, didn't come in, so I talked to Lindsay today, so she's going to help manage the town booth and also promote the housing needs assessment. So that way there's something in the town booth for people to come see besides you.
Yeah, and the housing needs assessment, the big thing that we're pushing right now.
Exactly, that's a big topic right now, so. FYI, so if you find Lindsay, that's where you'll be.
I'm pretty sure SQ Pop is gonna be at the Pop. Oh, I know for sure the last Wednesday because they're leaving my event in Gilcrest to come here.
Okay, cool.
Okay, move on to public safety. Anything new?
Oh, we don't, I don't have anything.
What's that?
I don't have anything.
Nothing new? Yeah. Okay, move to our town attorney.
Trustee Ralston had asked me for an update on the rail weld IGA and the soccer fields. I did follow up with them. They told me that they're meeting on July 14th to discuss some changes that they had to the draft and to consider our red lines. That they get back to me after that. That's all.
That's it. Okay, thank you. Move to town manager reports.
Thank you, Mayor. There's a number of items I outlined in my written report. If you have any questions on those, I'll be happy to address them. The SRO IJ specifically will be in front of you at the next meeting on the 21st of July. A couple additional items. As you will know, the court clerk position is open. The deadline is Friday. We received a good amount of applicants so far. Some are pretty highly qualified. They're already court clerks, so I'm anxious to go through that process. Working with Danette to set interviews up, not next week, but the week after because of the scheduling. Tessa's gone on next week for training for basically municipal clerk school. And then we have court next week, and then we have an all-day search and training. So next week's a little busy, so we'll get it figured out. Dave and I are working on, he's basically been monitoring auction sites, and there's an auction coming up tomorrow with 3 white used 15-passenger vans. They're commercial vans that are all at 17,000 right now. And he'd like to bid on those because I know the Jen and the rec department wanted to get something to replace the current van, which is 1994. You know, it's pretty outdated. We talked about this during budget, and we didn't budget for this year. I told Janet to pursue a grant, but those grants are hard to get. I completely understand. It was like pulling teeth to get the last one you get. But I want to get your thoughts on if a van becomes available on the auction. Dave's done a pretty good job kicking the tires, so to speak, virtually to see how these vehicles are. We've done a pretty good job so far. What are your thoughts on kind of a price point if you feel comfortable? Because a brand new one's about $70,000 to $80,000. And these are 22, 23 models. Some are pretty low miles, below 50,000. I know it's crazy. And it's the city of Longmont getting rid of 3 transport vans. So thoughts on that? Anybody? I told David probably 25, 30,000 range.
Are these shuttles? Are these shuttles
I guess you could call them shuttles. I
with
mean,
a regular nose and a body, a large?
yeah, it has the extended, so when you can go in, you can stand up. Perhaps so low.
It's not like a Sprinter van, right?
No. It's a transport van, and it worked well with both kids and seniors, but those are the things we looked at over the winter time.
What driver's license does that require?
Just standard because of the size of the vehicle.
Yours, what is it?
Typically 15, 12 to 15. It's like we have now, but that's a pretty tight squeeze.
What is it? Anything over 15 is requires CDL.
That's why there's 15 a max, just like our bus now. You don't need a CDL to drive our bus.
I don't know what vans are worth, but
I don't either.
I know we need one.
I talked to the fleet manager at Loveland Ford over the winter. My wife and I went up there and chatted with him, and we looked at a couple of the new ones. They didn't have anything used on site, but he was supposed to call me if he came upon one, but he said they sell the day that they're available. I mean, they're horrible to get. They're very high demand. And honestly, a lot of the farm companies around the area buy those up for their workers. The Domenico out here on 66 got several of them. They're red and white. I'm not sure if Millers have them, but they're good vehicles to have to transport workers back and forth.
Well, do you have a suggestion of a price point? If I might be able to get one.
Look, talking to David today, they're pretty decent vehicles, so probably going to sell a pretty good point, probably 30, 35, I'd recommend. I want to go over probably 40, you might as well just go after a new vehicle at that point.
Well, I don't know how anybody else feels, but we could get one. for that price.
Is there grant money available for a new?
Anything coming through the state of Colorado that is federally funded is very restricted right now.
Okay.
Every department I talk to is broke. To be blunt with you, I mean, last Wednesday, July 1, the state got the new fiscal budget. Whether it be Main Street program, energy impact grant, housing needs, transit and rail. I mean, there's grants out there, but they're extremely competitive and there's not a lot of money out there, honestly, right now. But no, I won't say we want to go after them, but it'd be tough to find right now, honestly.
What's that gonna do to our budget? I mean, we've already done a lot of damage to it so far this year.
Just got the financials today. We've got the best budget we've ever had.
And I will say that with the van, it would be used for seniors, and like today I followed Katrina home in the old van with 9 kids in it maybe. So,
And you're exactly right. So during budget, I told Jen, we have a bus that's a Platteville senior bus. This would be a Platteville recreation van,
right,
which you use them for both.
right. And the recreation committee has been doing, fundraisers for the van, and we've already put, I don't know how much money has been put into the account for that.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, Janet marked it all when she sent in all the receipts and everything, but anytime we have any kind of an event, we always have a donation jar for donations towards the van. And then the senior sweatshop, for 2 of their sweatshops, donated all of the money that they made for those 2 sweatshops to the proceeds for the van. And that was over probably close to $2,000. We do about $1,000 per sweatshop when we open it up. So, and we're still gonna try and come up with money to help pay for.
Well, I think, when an opportunity like this comes up, I think we really need to consider jumping on it, because just like you said, they get snapped up fast, and we either jump on something like this, or we plan on $80,000 van down the road, because what we've got now is too old.
The bus is nice, but I understand, I've been, when we first bought it, it's not the most comfortable machine out there. The van, the ones I've looked at, especially over the winter, they're very comfortable, they're very well padded, but they're not as big, obviously, but I think it'd be a good investment. I mean, in the summertime, the youth would have priority because of their programming, but then year round, the seniors could use it on trips.
Well, and that's the other thing, when we do our lunches now, typically we fill the van, we take the bus, and sometimes we end up taking her car also.
How many seats would be in one of those? I'm trying to picture 15 passengers.
Depends if they're, there's bucket or depends on the seating, honestly. I've seen 2 different kinds. Some will have just what I call the side row with the bench seats, and then others will have more of the buckets like the bus has. And it has a center row. I've seen both of those.
So the ones you were discussing, that they have a fiberglass body?
Yep.
And they're wider than the cab? They're like about 8 foot, 8.5 foot wide.
One of them did have that. One of them was a little taller. So.
Oh, like the Sprinter vans? Okay.
Oh, guys, in there.
The only thing I would say is it would be nice to have somebody who really knows their stuff look at one of those if we're considering it, because I mean, a transmission can cost $25,000 now. And an engine could be cheaper than a transmission. But my point is we want to be careful that we don't buy something that we're going to sink some money into immediately. And I don't know why Elon Musk getting rid of them. But when it comes to the large cities, they do everything on a schedule rather than looking at something that's getting shaky on condition. But it wouldn't be bad to have somebody check it out if they would allow that.
And we're fortunate. He's very conservative. He does a really good job, thorough job doing background on this equipment. He'll talk to We bought the bucket truck last year. I mean, he's talking to the prior owner and how it worked and managed. I mean, when Carl buys our last 4 cars from Chicago, Illinois, Chicago Motors, they've all been great cars to buy. A little risky at first, but they've turned out pretty good. I'm not saying we won't buy a lemon sometime, but we don't willy-nilly just buy vehicles without checking them out. So,
And what kind of a time frame are we talking about? Are we discussing it for this year or are we thinking about budget time?
I'm bringing it back up in budget, but between now and then, that's why I brought tonight. If something comes up right away, that's within a price point of 35,000. I'm asking for your blessing to pursue it. And then, I mean, I don't know how else to do it. I can't, like I was talking to David today, I could print the pictures, I'll present to you for tomorrow's auction. But then they may be sold tonight, so to speak, because that's how those auctions work. And then I won't have anything to present back to you. So,
As soon as we see one, we're gonna have to purchase it right away.
so the way this works to me is you as a board, you can pull the purse strings. If you authorize me to spend up to a certain amount, that's the amount I'll stay at, and I'll go find the best vehicle possible. That's
Well,
my.
I trust Dave. I mean, everything
Well,
that he's bought.
I trust you and I understand that if we don't have it in our budget right now to buy a new van. It's just like the whole deal with when water comes up for auction, we gotta jump on it, you know? These are the type of things that if we pass on it, if we drag our feet, then we end up paying $40,000 more
Right.
down the road. Because that van's not gonna last us a whole lot longer, I would think.
That 40 Conline, it can go out any day. You just never know. I mean, it's 1994 van.
If you're taking a trip any distance at all,
Safety's an issue too.
the safety's an issue.
I think one time last year, they stopped to get gas and the gas was running out of the tank on the ground somewhere.
Oh, no, you could smell, you could smell the gas inside the van. We were higher than a kite.
You were.
All right, next time I get to run.
Well, what did the board think?
Yeah,
I'm kind of,
Let's say 35,000,
yep,
what's the feeling?
Is that enough?
No,
That's as far as I go. If it goes over that, I'd probably pursue a new and try to go for another grant. It's just the grants aren't available right now. I can't
Right.
find them.
just wait until the next.
I
If
think,
you're gonna be paying over 50, to me, if you're gonna be paying over 50% on a used vehicle, you might as well just go for a used vehicle or a new vehicle
When is this auction?
tomorrow morning.
Where? Walmart?
It's online.
Okay.
All the auctions are online now. Even Ritchie Brothers, you go sit out there all day if you want, but you can do it online too.
everything's online.
I've been going to auction sales for 35 years and I know what that stuff's about. And without being able to check it out, it scares me a lot.
Tommy?
So my big concern is as long as we can get confident that it's mechanically sound
No,
in whatever
absolutely.
purchase that we're looking at.
And the nice thing is we try to go after government-owned vehicles because we can actually talk to somebody and they can be honest with us.
Found government-owned vehicles are being maintained, that's good.
Pretty much you maintain, like all our vehicles are maintained by the book.
Yeah.
Honestly, they do a really good job. So.
Well, I think given what we have here on the board, you got to go ahead, 35,000.
I'll let David know tomorrow. I can give you an update at the next meeting or sooner, actually. If we buy a van, I'll let you know. The last thing I want to bring up, and I spoke to Katie about this tonight, is 2 weeks ago, I believe it is now. The town received notice of litigation. We were named in a lawsuit with the Platteville Gilchrist Fire Protection District. 2 of their former employees are filing a claim. How in the world we're involved, I have no idea. So we talked to Sir, so Gilchrist is involved as well. So the 2 towns who are also Gilchrist is also Sir's representative, have been talking to the attorney on the plaintiffs, the 2 former employees, asking them, why are we named? We have no involvement with a special district. And we can't get a direct response, so we're gonna file for dismissal from the town of Platteville and the town of Gilchrist, because we're not part of this litigation, but if word gets out there, I want you to be fully aware that we're named in a lawsuit that we're not part of, because we're just not part of it. We have no control. Mayor, you have no control over their employees. I don't manage their employees. It's one of the most ridiculous litigations I've ever seen.
Now, it's kind of what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
They just throw it.
It's a bucket umbrella. I mean, we live in a world where you can sue anybody for anything. It just costs a lot of money to defend yourself. So that's the way life works, but
So you're gonna go show up and ask for a summary judgment
it's all done
or question standing?
electronically.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a motion to dismiss and CERSA's appointed an attorney to handle it.
Yeah.
I know that they've been trying to, just get a voluntary dismissal out of the plaintiff's attorney before having to file a motion to dismiss. But I think, CERSA's covering it. We have a certain coverage limit and, they've appointed counsel.
Okay, so this would be a CERSA handling.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that's
okay,
right,
okay.
That's right. I mean, I did, take a brief look at the complaint and I don't understand how there's any liability by the town or how the town was in any way.
How they would even have standing.
Yeah.
There's no standing, and that's what the argument. CERSA's appointed attorney and they hire the best. I mean, they simply do, but, the responses from the plaintiff's attorney make no sense. I mean, they're claiming that there's a connection between the town, and we prove that there isn't any connection, other than they have a building 100 yards away.
What's the charge?
Wrongful termination. A bunch of charges. But basically, they were terminated.
I thought this was an at-will state.
It is.
Used to be anyway.
It still is.
But I wanted,
Frankie's
They're
are
still, yes, that will, they're still protected people that you have to deal with. So.
should have said that.
I'll find updates as they come across, but I wanted to let you know that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So, don't know why, we'll get dismissed because we are not involved in things. So. I'll end with that one, how about that?
Yeah. Any questions? The town manager? I only just wanted to let you all know, I got a call from our Congressman Gabe Evans and our Platteville Police Station grant is officially part of the federal budget now. So as long as they pass the federal budget, we will get the money for our police station. And if you get an opportunity to thank our congressman, he got this done for us. And I'd have to say, he's been more supportive of Platteville than any other congressman
And that's because of age.
ever. Well, I think it has something to do with it, definitely. But he's very involved. I mean, Congress always called me like 3 or 4, that's me, how things are. So he's small communities with and the other ones in the past have never done. So you get an opportunity. That's all I have. Anybody got anything? Oops, already headed for the.
I'm waiting for the gas. Sorry.
The only congressman we've dealt with, Ken Buck came in. Yeah. That didn't work. I never